My new Hummer Walkaround. This is a M1151 from the Marine Corps that I just picked up. So in the actual military version, these are fully armored. This has been demilitarized and sold through auction on the East Coast. So it used to have fully armored doors, fully armored floor pans, add-on stuff underneath, ballistic glass in the windshield and everything. So this was sold out of Georgia and had no windshield doors. Missing a bunch of stuff, but that's just how they come. It would have had a turret up top. Now it just has a delete panel on it. You can get a turret, but they're pretty expensive. So this is, pretty sure it's 2008. I gotta look up the serial number a little more. Has LED lights all around. This did have the deep water fording kit on it, so it gets the stack and it gets the snorkel up front. But part of the demil process is to remove the selector valve, which is in the cab. So I'll show that later. But I don't know why it's part of the demil process. No one really knows. But it still has a water fording depth of 30 inches right now. The selector valve essentially just pressurizes the crankcase and a bunch of other stuff for a short period of time. That way water doesn't intrude into your engine and trans and all that. But this thing is pretty nice quality. No cracks in the hood. Usually they're all dented up here from Marines rock crawling them. I know I beat the living crap out of these things in the Marine Corps in California and stuff. They jumped one time and it was pretty rough. Surprisingly, these actually ride really nice, these ECV ones. So this is an ECV, which is the expanded capability version. You can tell ECVs because they have a longer grill up here with the headlights in it. And this is to accommodate for a larger radiator. With the ECV, you also get the Optimizer 6500 6.5 Detroit. Now, this isn't your grandpa's old Detroit that he had in his late 90s Chevy. This is a fully redesigned by General Engine Products, which is part of GM, basically. They're under GM, and this is a fully redesigned block. I'm going to pause it so I can open the hood. So it's a fully redesigned block. Has thicker cylinder walls up in the top because these were prone to cracking. It's got different cylinder heads, a number of other things that I didn't read into too much. But basically, it's a bulletproof 6.5, makes a couple hundred horsepower, almost 500 pound-feet of torque. And it's definitely no slouch. It honestly gets this thing moving pretty fast. Now, the ECVs also have 308 gear ratios versus the other Humvees have like 273, I believe. This is because these were fully armored and weighed about 12,500 pounds. And now it weighs about 6,500 pounds. So this thing actually isn't that slow. Also has a 400 amp alternator. This thing is like 200 pounds. That's why it has a eye bolt so you can lift it out with a crane if you need to swap it out. It's kind of packed in here, but honestly, it's not that bad to work on because you can remove the doghouse inside the cab. That thing. And you can reach the back of the engine. Obviously, this is turbo version. Has a 4L80E transmission, similar to what you'd find in some heavy-duty Chevy trucks. It's electronically controlled. They're pretty beefy. So it has airlift bumpers. I got to put an antenna here. I'm waiting on one mount. Another thing you could tell that makes the ECV stand out is these grates, I guess you'd say, on each side and the back. That is for the dual AC unit. These are for the rear AC unit, which is right here. The dash still has normal AC, but the condensers and a bunch of the AC stuff is back here. So this is a slant back. Slant backs are iconic. Fun fact, these can actually open up both ways. They have hinges on both ends and handles on both ends, but there's actually a block-off plate in the front on all Marine Corps models, and if you just remove the block-off plate with 2 bolts and open the front handle, it'll actually open up the opposite way, and then it's a little more protection for the gunner, I guess. I've never seen American Humvees do this. I've only seen photos of them in like Ukraine doing that. But a little bit of armor left on this thing. It's not really heavy duty armor at all, not like it was. Just kind of this weird composite stuff. Standard 37, 12.5, 16.5 BFGs. Snorkel. Pretty bare bones inside. It is missing some of the stuff. It's supposed to have a board here, and then right here there was a little adjustable thing to step on, I guess you'd say, for the gunner, for their height. That's missing. A little bit of armor left right here. Honestly, these aren't really that uncomfortable. They are when you have your full flak and Kevlar on and a rifle. It's hard to fit, but without all that, they're actually pretty comfy. That's the block-off plate up there. Cool thing about the ECVs is they have attack up there. So this one has about 6,000 miles on it. Gauge cluster lights up nice. Of course, it has 4 gears and it has torque converter lockup. It's kind of dark in here, but it's bare bones, but it's all you need. I do have a radio tray right here. That'll go in the center, and I'll probably put some cup holders on it. Some other Hummer junk. Pretty basic. Runs really, really good. I gotta take the run flats out of the tires here soon because they get a little wobbly at 60 mile an hour. The ECV Humvees, you can do 70 pretty easy. You can go a little faster if you want to really push your RPMs, but they cruise nice at 65, 70. These have 18 inches of ground clearance, a little bit more than the older Humvees. Go ahead and start it. It's a glow plug light. Hard to see, but it says wait. All right. Typical Humvee belt squeal when you shut her down. Here's a little bonus to this video. Picked up a Sweet Master 300. Nice and sweet. You can tow it behind a truck. Just drop the hitch. You go back here and you disconnect the axles, kind of like a locking hub, and then they just free rotate and you can tow it down the road. It is hydrostatic, kind of just like a lawnmower. Simple forward, back, and brake. Has a baby little Kubota engine in it. Tiny little 3-cylinder. And I mean tiny, like that's the size of my hand. This unit's pretty sweet. Sprays water, sweeps. The boom rotates left, right, up, down. Definitely useful for sweeping your driveway or the shop or whatever you feel like sweeping. But yeah, back to the Humvee. You'll see a lot coming from this thing. I'm gonna do a lot of work to it, keep it mostly the same on the outside. I don't want to make it look not military, I guess. Probably not going to paint it. This was desert tan. And the guy who I bought it from sourced the doors and all this other stuff, and he painted it green 383. You know, your standard woodland base, just like the 5-ton has. But I'm not going to paint the tri-camo woodland on it because honestly, I really like it the way it is. Oh yeah. About all there is to show you besides the test drive, and that'll come later.